This chart reveals a glaring contradiction in the modern economy. It contrasts high income brackets, people making over $1, $2, or even $300,000 a year, with their actual liquid savings. As the data shows, nearly 60% of these top earners are carrying revolving credit card debt and living entirely paycheck to paycheck. There is a massive, exhausting disconnect between the external projection of extreme success and the internal reality. Millions of highly paid professionals harbor the heavy, silent anxiety of drowning in financial scarcity, carefully hiding a zero-balance reality behind luxury signaling and premium zip codes. Society operates on a flawed mathematical assumption that injecting more liquid capital into a household naturally triggers a decrease in psychological suffering. We tell ourselves that crossing the next salary threshold will finally yield security, yet the trap remains. This widespread financial suffocation among the wealthy is the direct result of a profound, highly engineered neurobiological capture. We live in a digital landscape meticulously architected to bypass our logic. Algorithms, infinite scrolling, and targeted scarcity cues are designed with a singular, relentless goal: to keep humans insecure and continuously consuming. This environment accelerates the hedonic treadmill. As your income escalates, your expectations and perceived baseline necessities rise in precise, uncompromising tandem. The upgraded home or new luxury vehicle provides a fleeting spike in satisfaction before fading into the new normal, resulting in zero permanent gain in subjective well-being. To maintain this pace, high earners begin borrowing against their future selves. Relying on projected bonuses or unvested stock options to fund present-day emotional spending creates a continuous state of perceived deficit. In behavioral economics, this severe cognitive burden is known as the bandwidth tax. The cognitive load of this financial stress physically consumes finite mental resources. When the mind is tunneled on immediate financial pressures, it diminishes your fluid intelligence and executive control, forcing a default to impulsive, short-term decision-making. You buy more to soothe the stress caused by the very deficit you're deepening. Modern society has digitized and weaponized Maya, the ancient concept of the grand illusion. It is a highly optimized environment that actively drains your executive brain function to monetize your attention. Thousands of years before functional MRI machines or behavioral economists existed, ancient Indian sages precisely mapped this exact vulnerability of human cognition. The Bhagavad Gita functions as a psychological diagnostic manual for the exact mechanism by which the human intellect is hijacked by external stimuli. Verse 2.67 offers a striking psychological metaphor. As a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's discriminative intelligence. The text warns that if you allow your mind to attach itself to a single roaming sense object, a notification, a status symbol, an algorithmic impulse, it drags your strategic direction along with it. Like a boat without a helmsman, the uncontrolled mind is swept into the ocean of lifestyle inflation. Modern laboratory research is currently identifying the literal neurobiology behind what the sages were experiencing internally. The Gita's wind of the senses corresponds to the mesolimbic dopamine system. When you are exposed to high-stimulus consumer cues, dopamine is released into the nucleus accumbens, driving the intense craving that characterizes compulsive shopping and lifestyle creep. Your discriminative intelligence, or prajna, is localized in the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. This is your brain's braking system. Under the bandwidth tax of financial stress, this area is measurably downregulated, effectively disconnecting your ability to exercise self-control or long-term planning. Even the ancient concept of ahamkara, the ego, has a neurological equivalent, the default mode network. This network activates during the self-referential rumination and mental time travel that obsesses over past financial regrets and future anxieties. This chronic financial stress has consequences at the cellular level. Constant activation of the HPA axis floods the body with cortisol, which triggers DNA methylation, essentially turning off critical genes. Specifically, it suppresses the BDNF gene, the master protein for neuroplasticity, which causes the brain to lose its ability to adapt. Because these epigenetic markers can be passed down, the trauma of the modern rat race becomes biologically embedded. The ancient warning of inherited binding karma has found its molecular mechanism, a state of anxiety and cognitive rigidity that transfers from one generation to the next. Breaking this cycle requires moving from theory to execution. Sanatana Dharma offers the ultimate cognitive intervention, Sakshi Bhava, or the state of the witness consciousness. You operationalize this by implementing a mandatory cognitive pause, a biological circuit breaker, before any financial transaction. You do not suppress the urge to buy. Instead, you observe the physical sensation of the desire in your body. Internally acknowledging the sensation shifts blood flow away from your reactive amygdala. It routes metabolic energy back to the prefrontal cortex, granting your rational intelligence the necessary millisecond to override the short-term dopamine spike. To further relieve the bandwidth tax, you must modernize Nishkam karma, action without attachment. This requires automating your financial architecture so that on the day a paycheck clears, funds are instantly routed to investments and expenses before you ever interact with the numbers. The final protocol is a rigorous 24-hour digital and consumer fast every week. By intentionally starving the brain's reward circuitry of algorithmic hits, you force your dopamine receptors to sensitize to low-stimulus, high-meaning activities. These practices function as rigorous biological interventions that permanently downregulate the anxious default mode network and restore the fluid intelligence needed for long-term liberation. By cultivating this stance, you arrive at a profound realization. You are not the boat being tossed by the wind, nor are you the wind itself. You are the vast, unperturbed, silent ocean upon which the drama unfolds. Returning to this baseline shatters the engineered hallucination that material accumulation equals emotional satiation. When your neurochemical baseline normalizes, you regain the capacity to find enduring joy in the stillness of existence. Reclaiming your mind from a society designed to exploit it is the ultimate wealth. It is the end of the grand illusion and the beginning of your sovereign intelligence.